All right, here's the deal. This is a 1980 Kawasaki KZ750 twin. I'm Benjamin, and you're in the eccentric custom collective garage. Check it out. All right, let me break down the bike to you real quick. Like I said, 1980 Kawasaki KZ750 twin. I flattened the frame on the top where the cafe section is there, or the cafe body. Narrowed it a little bit so that seat fit it perfectly, and then I added the fiberglass back to it. Of course, the main thing that jumps out at you is the glitter paint. Now, I had a couple of choices when I was going to paint this bike. One choice was like a pearl green that Testors made, but I could never really get it right. Well, I had done a couple of muscle bicycles that is, in flake. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this thing in flake, and I'm really happy how it turned out. It turned out really cool. I think it gives it like a custom cafe kind of feel to it, and it's really like nothing else. Another thing that I really dig about it is the little pieces on the side here. Those guys right there. It's got like the Land of the Rising Sun flag on it. And a cool thing happens, and you probably saw this in the video earlier. It actually disappears at whatever, if you go into different angles. The flag actually disappears and reappears. And of course, you see the cool bike pedal kicker. I added that. It's probably one of the last modifications I did on it. And so yeah, this really came together really well. I really dig it, and it's a great bike. It looks good. The profile's right. You know, I think it came together really well. Here's the opposite side. As you can see, the license plate is on this side, as well as the rear light. You also get a little better look at the pipes, and if you notice those little side plates, you can't see that logo, the Rising Sun flag, because we're at the right angle to where you can. Once again, the paint pops out. I did a mild polish on the motor, and I love the tires on it. The tires are just perfect. They're an old school Shinko. The back tire would be used for Harley Davidson. The front is more for like a Japanese or a metric use. But they give just a perfect look to the style and the era that this bike would have came out of. See the clip-on bars? They're just some cheapies from eBay. I didn't buy real expensive ones, but I think they look cool. You know, they give you the right stance. I just adjusted the forks up to lower it. I did not put springs in it. Would I suggest springs? Absolutely. I, however, did not do that, but you should. So real quick, I want to talk about these Mikuni BS38s. They are the scourge of the world. I have rejetted them 3 times, and I just cannot get the bike to run right. It either runs too rich, or it runs too lean, or it runs for a while, then it stops, or it pops as you accelerate. They are a pain, and they are the scourge of my life. They will, however, be the new owner's scourge to his life when he picks the bike up this weekend. So there's that. Perhaps you can give me some tips down in the comments. Or maybe not. Either way, I would suggest maybe getting some VM34s, or getting a carburetor that's made for running filters instead of the airbox. From what I've been told, the airbox completely fixes the problem. Now here's the issue with this bike. Remember I narrowed the frame and flattened it? Can't use a stock airbox on it anymore. So there's that. I hate you, Mikuni carbs. Here's a little look at the BMX kicker. I actually used a 3-piece crank to attach the pedal to, and then I welded it to the piece that comes out of the engine. I think it turned out pretty cool. These slip-on pipes were also one of the last-minute additions to this bike. I found them at a estate sale that my mother was working at, and I felt like they really fit the aesthetic of the bike, and it turned out really cool. Because I wanted to keep the swing arm area kind of clear, I built this mount to support the slip-on mufflers. I think it turned out really cool. You know, add little holes in there for some aesthetic. It looks neat, it's fancy. Just like your mom. So I lifted up and pushed in the headlight and lowered the speedometer and RPM gauge. I think it gives it a more compact look, and you know, kind of makes the bike feel a little lower, I guess. 22,000 original miles, original key. Tons of fun. Once again, just like your mom. Well, I've owned a couple of Harley Davidsons, a couple of other choppers, and then this bike. And I almost like the aesthetic of this bike the best. You know, the other bikes I had a lot more work into. You know, we built the frames custom and all that kind of thing. This one here, we just modified the frame, built the cafe section, did a few things like that. Didn't go crazy or insane with it. I think that might be why I like it a little better. You know, because it was a little more, I don't know, applicable to build. But that being said, I hope you enjoyed checking it out. Hit that subscribe button. There's going to be plenty more coming from the Eccentric Custom Collective Garage. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Was that good?
Yes. Yeah.